Now, let's see if I remember how to do this the right way.
No.
You got this, Dan. I know you got this.
Appreciate the votes of confidence. I love it. Let's see if I remember how. So I remember I had to mute this. Okay. I believe, let's just verify on my side. Everything looks good and copacetic. Yeah, we look good. I think we're live. And we're live. Awesome. So let's go ahead and get the channel questions up. How do I do that? Where is that? There we go. Oh, Rosie, we lost you.
I'm here.
Oh, there you are. Okay,
No
we lost
presenters
video
there.
for a moment. All right. So, I know we're live, but we're going to wait a few more moments to give people a chance to get on and watch. I'm going to go ahead and share this on Facebook real quick. So make sure everybody has an opportunity to come check us out. Come join us live. Please feel free to do this. Take a moment to do the same on your personal platforms and your professional platforms.
Yeah.
Go ahead and share that. Make sure we smash that like button as well. We want to get everybody in here to see and learn about what we're trying to help everyone feel better.
Yes, I'm looking for now. Let's put it on there. Just.
We're going to give everybody by 10:04. We'll get started on it. How was everyone's weekend?
I had a pretty wild weekend, honestly.
Oh, yeah? Very eventful?
Yes, it was awesome, though. It was awesome overall.
I love hearing awesome weekends. Awesome weekends definitely help make for great weeks, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I to some people, working on the weekend is like, ew, you work on the weekend? I'm like, yeah, but I love what I do. So to me, it's not work.
Yeah, same here.
When you love what you do, you never work a day in your life, right?
Exactly. It's like I've been trying to find another word for it versus work, because it sounds like that. It sounds like work. And even occupation, because there's this song that I've heard, that you're on vacation. I'm on vacation doing my occupation. But even occupation, I don't know. The word just hasn't shown up yet.
Lifestyle choice.
Lifestyle choice. Yeah, I like that.
I mean, because if you think about it, you're doing something with your life. It's a style of how you get it done, and you're choosing to do it. So,
lifestyle choice, yes.
Let's see, how many viewers we got? Got 2 watching as of right now. Hopefully we'll get some more in momentarily. Please feel free to subscribe, share this video, go across all platforms. I shared it to a lot of Facebook groups this morning, so hopefully we'll get a little more exposure in that regard. One of the things that I definitely wanted to touch up on was there was a question that I had from Peter Storrs, Arm Wrestling. Thank you so much for subscribing, man. I appreciate the support. He had asked me, I think he lives in Ohio or something, in the Midwest, and he was asking, how do I find something that you're offering in New York near me? And that was a good question because I didn't know the providers over in that area. However, I have a solution. We're going to create a Facebook group where we can network and coordinate with other providers and help each other out. Greg and Rosie and myself, and unfortunately Julia from the Feel Good Factor isn't able to join us due to personal issues. She's not able to make it, but if you have any questions about CBD, send them my way, and we'll have a second live chat with her exclusively. But we're going to create a Facebook group where each of these providers are going to be able to connect you with a provider nearby you. And it just helps create a stronger, more sensible network that allows us to help each other out effectively.
Nice.
So
is that the question that you're putting out there on how to find on other float therapy places?
Yes. How to connect with other float therapy places that are possibly local to you.
Okay, so I know that they're not affiliated to the float place, but they do offer float tanks in their at their locations. I found 3 in Ohio, 1 in Columbus, 1 in Rocky River. You could just Google float therapy and the state that you're in, and you'll be, Google is amazing that way. We've had a lot of people that have moved out of New York and that are going someplace else. So they come in, they feel so sad to cancel their membership because they're moving away. And right away, I'm Googling, well, where are you going? And I check out to see what's in their area. And I just, do that. I said I found one in Iowa, and I didn't think I could find one in Iowa. There's one right in Des Moines.
There you go.
Yeah. Amazing power of Google, right?
Exactly.
Google is amazing. I mean, I know, Greg, you have a couple of satellite locations, people you affiliate with across the entire nation. So is there, you want to speak to that and say, hey, if you look close to this area, you can see one of my devices here.
Yeah, actually, I have an affiliate in Bakersfield, California, and one in Allentown, Pennsylvania. I have, the girl in California. Both of them do like body sculpting and lymphatic drainage for post-op recovery, for women that get, cosmetic surgery, and they add cryo to their repertoire. So if you're in the Bakersfield, California area, you can go to my webpage and look up Mindy's contact information. And if you're in Allentown, Pennsylvania, you can look up Anastasia's contact information. But, we're going to be going national with this, with my business model this year. So if you're in Ohio, we don't have anyone in Ohio yet, but I do have interest from a few people who want to do this type of, offer this type of treatment to, people that live in that area. He's in the Cleveland area right now, but I'm pretty sure that once they get a sniff of what I'm going to be offering them as far as the quality of medical device, CPT billing codes to accept healthcare insurance, it's going to rapidly grow into a lot of places across the country, and it'll be very easy for someone to find a authorized service provider of my therapy. So it's just a matter of time. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of time.
I happen to know there's a fairly large arm wrestling group in Allentown, Pennsylvania. This is pretty cool. Team Predator is their name, and I'll get them linked up with you guys to see if we can possibly, expand in that world, because they're a pretty central hub of arm wrestling for Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's actually her IG handle, if you want to just jot this down, is Amazing Peach. Her name is Anastasia. I'll text it to you later. Amazing Peach, and Anastasia's fully trained and fully trained in my techniques and my approach.
That is awesome. I love that.
That's great.
This is what I love about this, is we get to
Yeah.
network with professionals in their area. It's not just specifically to Long Island, not just specifically to New York. We have places all over the nation that can help us out, and we're going to be expanding this bigger and better than ever before. That's my goal, is to really create a connectivity amongst people, especially since COVID happened. We've forgotten the importance of human connection, and you know, thankfully for a program like Zoom that allows us to have some resemblance of connection, but we want to make sure we can really put people in front of these services and products so that they can enjoy it and benefit from it a lot better. We got 3 people watching.
Totally. Not sure if you can hear me. I lost connection for a little bit.
Yeah, me too. It says bandwidth is low or something like that.
I mean, I can hear you both fairly well, so.
I hear you fine now.
Now, I wanted to reiterate one of the things that I mentioned last week was how I utilize your services and get myself ready for arm wrestling and allowing for myself to heal quicker than your average individual. So after I do a heavy duty workout or have a major tournament, I see Greg. Greg provides me with a cryotherapy relief that is almost instantaneous, and it allows for me to train a little harder without risking injury. It eradicates and deals with my inflammation on a level that nothing else really has done up to this point for me. And I swear by this. I think that my success level in the arm wrestling community really attributes to my recovery regimen. And Greg is a pivotal role in that. And then to get myself ready for a tournament, I go to the float place and I meet up with Rosie, and I utilize the float therapy tank, or actually the float therapy room, and it helps me meditate on a level that I can't do outside of these float rooms, because you're literally floating suspended in this Epsom salt that A, has an anti-inflammatory property, but B, allows for your body just to relax, so you can actually let your mind navigate through what you need it to navigate through. Whatever problem solving you need to encounter and deal with, your mind is actually better equipped to do so because you're not having any extra stimulus to it. So I'm able to do, right before a tournament, 3 to 4 days before, I have a float therapy session that rids my body of any extra inflammation that I couldn't get through with Greg, and I'm able to focus. I'm able to pretty much dial in on this mantra where I visualize the win, visualize the pin, and allow for myself to focus on a level that nothing else really does for me. Not even caffeine, no supplement has ever given me this level of hyper focus mentality on, kicking butt at the table.
I guess there's no other way to prescribe it, right? Describe it. Not
There is no other way to
prescribe.
describe
No, definitely. And that is, I love that you described it that way, because that is exactly what the program that I mentioned to you in our last interview, it's called the TFP experience. And TFP stands for the flow place, but we changed it up a little because it's transformational, it's fun, and it's powerful. Because now we're it's almost like even the name of your channel, Biohacking. It's about going into our mind and reprogramming it to what we want to see. And so your mantra, visualize the pin, visualize the win. You see it. You can go in there and see it. And the mind does not know the difference between what is real and what isn't. What you're imagining in your mind, you can close your eyes and you want to visualize a sunset or a sunrise. You can see it. It's there. But the mind doesn't know the difference, other than when we open our eyes and we tell it, we can have that conversation. Oh, I just thought about it in my head. But that's like a whole other part of us. But if we can go in there in that deep, deep rest that the water brings you to, you can create anything. You really can create anything. make anything happen. You know, it's all up to the level of your belief system as well. And that's what this program, it's a 10-week program that goes through the limiting beliefs. What are the limiting beliefs that are stopping you from going to the next level? Because we as humans, we have so much potential. And so what I'm discovering personally, just from floating as much as I have and how much it's done for me, because at the beginning, it was just for me to make a spiritual contact because I had a lot of stuff that needed clearing up. And some of us do. A lot of us do. We come from different backgrounds, different cultures, you know, different belief systems that don't work for us as adults. As children, that's what we were taught. But then as adults, it's like we have this internal conflict because of the beliefs that were running wild in our mind from what we learned, from what we were programmed. And so as adults, we can reprogram ourselves, okay, to what we want our life to look like.
Rosie, we had a comment, actually. Somebody said you got to rotate your phone. We're all sideways.
Yeah, you're sideways.
There you go.
Okay. It's that it dropped the call a few times. I don't know why Zoom kicked me out a couple of times and it brought me back this way.
That's okay. No worries.
Well, Roseanne, you bring up good points there. You know, it's mind over matter, and it's also self-fulfilling prophecy. You know, if you believe that you're going to, we'll just use Dan's case, going into an arm wrestling competition and believing that he's going to do well, you know, he visualizes his win, the meditation and everything else. More than likely, he's going to have success or more success from the previous tournament. So, you know, as a former athlete of myself, you know, I played in the minor leagues for a few years, and baseball, that is, and it is mind over matter. It really is. It's a grind, and it's self-fulfilling prophecy. If you truly believe that you're going to do well, you know, you're going to do well. If you truly feel and believe that whatever injury or disability you have that you could overcome, you have to own it, accept it, and develop coping mechanisms. And you know, the day that you could kind of own it and accept it, will the day that you become at peace with your pain and discomfort. But you know, it's really mind. I mean, people neglect the mind. You know, you go to the doctor, everyone wants to check the heart, the kidney, the lungs, but you know, your brain is probably your biggest organ in your body, and a lot of times people forget that. You know, they really do, and you need to take care of the mind. Very important.
With the mind, the power of the mind really does manifest what you want. It really does, because what is in our way of completing certain tasks? Ourselves, usually. We are our worst enemy. We, as you mentioned, Greg, with the self-fulfilling prophecy. We can help ourselves on a level that no one else can, because we alone are stuck with ourselves, right? So with that in mind, how can we access that part of our brain? How can we genuinely accept, hey, I'm in control of my own personal destiny. This doesn't happen to me. I respond to this in this way. I go ahead and I move forward because I choose to. I go ahead and I get stagnant because I choose to. There's no easy route to this. None of what we do is easy. We got to choose our hards here. Our hard can look like in any different way for each individual too, which is amazing, because that's what makes us unique. Each person is a unique fingerprint or footprint, if you may, and we have more control over ourselves when we actually are more in tune with our bodies, our intentions, our goals. We are genuinely capable of creating our own havoc or our own bliss.
Yes.
We have 5 people watching, which is amazing. Thank you guys in the chat. We got Devin's forum saying that the placebo effect is real. It most genuinely is. If you really, really manifest something in your mind, it becomes reality.
Absolutely. 100%. You said something before, Dan, about us being our worst enemies in our mind. the communication that goes on in our mind reflects in the quality of our life. Okay. And so if each of us, I know the first time that I heard that, I looked in my environment. I'm like, I picked everything that's around me. I purchased everything, and I, let something break down, whatever it was, they were all my choices, and I heard this quote, tell a lie big enough, loud enough, and long enough, and you'll believe it. And that's what beliefs are. Everything can be considered a lie if it doesn't work for you. And this quote, when I heard who was the one that said it, it really made sense. It was Hitler. We all have a little Hitler living in our mind, literally, because that's the one that destroys our life in whichever direction, whether it's in finances, whether it's in our relationships with family, romance. It's that voice in our head. And it totally makes sense.
When it comes to your ability to see negativity, because it is in human nature to find negativity in everything that we do and everything we experience, right? It's very easy for our brains to focus on that and forget that, hey, wait, this darkness, this shadow, it's cast from all this light that I've experienced. So wherever there is a lot of shadow, there's always going to be a light source somewhere. It's up to you to find it.
100%. I mean, we all have darkness in us. Every single human that's walking on planet Earth has had some kind of darkness. It's part of our build. I mean, our brain has to help this body survive. So it's constantly focusing on what could go wrong so that this body, whatever reaction we have, is not in danger. The only thing is that we're no longer living, and I mean, this is the 2 million-year-old brain. We're no longer living in dinosaur ages. You know what I mean? We have evolved to a whole other level, but we are still running that same old program that if something bad happens, that's it. I'm not doing it anymore because, we go into fight or flight. But meanwhile, there are no dinosaurs or saber-toothed tigers coming after us. These are things that we can face, that we can shift our perspective because that's the part of us that's evolving. But we have to be willing to do that and even question that dark side. Like, is it really true that that's what's going to happen again just because it happened in the past? Because we tend to repeat. And that's where the self-fulfilling prophecy comes. If we've had anything in the past that's hurt us or that's happened bad or that we were told you're never going to amount to nothing because you got a bad grade or a teacher said something to you about, you can't read, you're not going to be a nobody when you grow up. You bring those things with you as you grow up and you believe them. And then we never question them. We never get curious. We just kind of took it personal and we carry that lie with us. So I feel that helps you get curious, really get to know yourself. It's that saying, man, know thyself, is about what's going on up here. What is going on up here? Because this is what's creating inside of you.
So we have Atlantis IRL. He said we all used to have more control over that type of brain control, but we have forgotten that over time. And that is so true. With the introduction of a lot of different technologies and different things that are very much distractions to what's happening inside of our own heads, we focus on so many different things. And actually, I just had a podcast yesterday. I interviewed Greg Finney of OSNAP Active Lifestyle, and he and I were talking about how we've gotten so busy making a living that we forget to live a life. And that's why we have this channel, is so that we can sit there and say, hey, your wellness should be a priority. This should be as commonplace. It should be a luxury. It should not be a luxury. Taking care of your body, taking care of your mind should not be a luxurious option. It should be a commonplace as easy as brushing your teeth. It should be something that we all do and take advantage of and benefit from. Um, and focusing on taking better care of ourselves, because when we take better care of ourselves, everyone around us benefits. Your world around you gets better. If you're experiencing a negative time frame in your life, well, what are you lacking? What are you not doing for yourself to take better care of you? And the cryotherapy that I get allows for me to be pain free, and I'm not focusing on the pain. I can actually enjoy my life now because my body is eradicated the pain because of the service I took advantage of with seeing Greg at New York Cryogen. Or I went ahead and I meditated in the float place here in Deer Park. You know, focusing on things like that and taking care of ourselves is huge. Now, I have another comment from our live chat. Intermittent fasting and keto. This gentleman, Devin's foreign, lost 70 pounds in 6 months. Bravo, brother.
Good
He's
for you,
never
man.
felt better.
Awesome.
Our bodies evolved this way, not with the recent industrial excess of food everywhere.
Nice.
You know, it's so true. So
You
true.
are what you eat.
This is once again true. I'm consuming right now. This is my breakfast of champions. I got all my fruits and veggies and protein all into one in a nice, lovely fruit shake. So, breakfast of champions right here.
That thing's massive, man. It looks like as big as your torso.
It is pretty big.
Like 2 gallons?
It'll fill me up for a while. It's about a quart.
Okay. It looks like 2 gallons on the screen.
I actually do have a gallon, so I can show you the size comparison.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, I'm not a very large human, so everything looks big to me. I also want to shout out Michelle, the Black Scorpion Dugan. She's one of my favorite arm wrestlers. I'm wearing her shirt today. She and James Reed have really been a pivotal role in me creating these concepts that I'm doing right now. They've given me a lot of platforms to kind of show and be a part of something bigger. So thank you guys for that, and thank you for connecting me with all these awesome, wonderful people and encouraging me. I got that egg dig. I had Mike Aiello teach me a thing or two. So in arm wrestling, for those who are watching who don't know, there's this constant battle of angles. If you make camera angles and making sure that we have a really good angle to look massive or look tiny or make yourself look a little bit different. So it's all about the forced perspective that we're putting out there.
Nice.
This is awesome. I'm enjoying myself with this. I love having you guys here. As I said before, we're gonna have a Facebook group surrounding this as well. This is my pride and joy right here. Being able to connect with people. Thankfully, technology to a certain degree allows for something like this to happen. But let's not use this as a distraction. Let's not make this our only focal point. Let's get out there. Let's find our local flow places. Let's connect with the guys in Allentown and California for our wellness services. Let's get out there and meet people. Start up a conversation with somebody and say, hi, this is what I'm doing. How can I make myself better?
Absolutely. Love it. I love the energy, Dan. I absolutely love it. I'm grateful that you're including us on this journey with you, and whatever you need.
Absolutely, Dan. It's just the beginning. This is just round 2.
Yeah, this is just round 2. This is the beginning. I have 4 episodes down now. Second live. I'm loving every aspect of this. I really hope that this explodes in a way that helps everybody. Because that's my goal. That's my goal. I just want everybody to feel their best and not give up on something that they enjoy because they're in pain.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. Many times people will start something and they won't finish it because of the pain or the commitment involved or the time commitment. Like, it becomes a stressing and taxing experience for these people who just don't have that necessary drive. But with services like what you guys have to offer, they can persevere and push forward and be assisted and coached and guided with a float experience. Something like that will be transformative to somebody just starting something new. If they were to incorporate that into their regimen, it would just be that much more beneficial. It would be that much more substantial too, because you wouldn't feel empty. You would feel the intense satisfaction that you are truthfully doing something to better yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Dan, how many people do you have on the watching right now?
I got 5 people watching right now, it says.
Okay.
A couple
These
people have come.
from Long Island. I
Some
would
people
like
are from Long Island. Some people, I believe, in the chat, guys, tell me where you guys are from, where you're watching from, because I would love to highlight that we are, getting viewership from all over the place. So I do know some of these guys are from Ohio. Some of them are even from Canada. Some are actually, one of these guys I think is from Europe.
nice.
Possibly.
That's
Wow,
awesome. That is beautiful.
that's awesome.
Okay, we got a Texas guy. Devin's Forums from Texas.
Hello,
Hello, Texas, the Longhorn State. I love Texas, man. So when we used to be a corporate trainer for Hand and Stone, I went ahead and I did a couple spa openings in Texas, and it's probably one of my favorite states. If I wasn't living in New York, I probably would be living in Texas. And we have Anne
almost
Marie from
moved to
Long
Texas.
Island and Francis from Long Island as well. Both happen to be very close and near dear people in my life. Francis is my mother, and Anne Marie is one of my close and dear friends. And also happens to be a relative that we found out via Ancestry.com.
Oh,
Well, I
Small
would like
world.
to
well,
offer
welcome.
5 people that are on. I know that some are from Texas, Europe, but if you're ever in New York, we have your names. If you send a comment on this video, please stop by and you'll get a complimentary float. And for the people from Long Island, please stop by, ask for Rosie, and you can experience your own float.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that, Rosie.
No problem.
Yes, and for those 5 people out there, including the one in Europe, obviously I'm the owner of New York Cryogen, and I provide the high pressure cryotherapy services here in the New York, New Jersey area. Just to let you people know that we have recently received American Medical Association recognition that now we're considered a medical provider for these services. It's considered a medical procedure now. And we are going to be able to start accepting healthcare insurances, Medicare and all private insurances soon, so we could bring this modality to millions of people, not only in this country, but also in the world. I have a lot of global interest in this. I've been speaking with a gentleman from Dubai this morning, and the Minister of Health of Holistic Medicine is interested in this modality. So we're doing a lot of things here for people who suffer from chronic and acute pain. The person from Texas, I did speak to somebody. I'm not quite sure where she is located, but she's involved with the rodeo, bronco riding rodeo. And I found it cute because she was telling me all of these things, assuming all of the associations that affiliated with all the bronco riding and rodeos that I knew. And I said, sweetheart, I said, I'm from New York City. I grew up in the city, and with the schools in Brooklyn, they don't do rodeo, bronco riding here in New York. So I said, I have no idea what you're talking about, but I could appreciate it. So she started laughing. She goes, "It's a different world down here in Texas." I'm like, I know. Great state, great people. Have friends down there in Houston and Dallas and stuff like that. So we're going to bring my technology national, and it's going to be quicker than you think. So it's all good.
I'm looking forward to that day when everybody in every street corner everyone everywhere can take advantage of one of these services, because for me, they've enriched my life so much. They've given me so much brightness and allowed for me to continue with the dream that I have to being the best I can be for my son and for my family. And you know, I have some of my family in the chat right now, and they can attest to I've become a better human due in part for these services. I have become more in tune with my unique potential and where I want to be. So I mean, who'd ever think that arm wrestling and all these great services would bring out the best version of me?
Yeah. That's awesome.
Let's see so we got everybody thanking you guys for the offerings in the chat. They're floored by this. They're very, very gracious about it. Let's see what else we got.
Awesome. I just need the name of Long Island people, Dan, so that I can set them up. So if you could send your info, and if you're coming, then great.
You know what, you guys could what we can do is I'll create that Facebook group, and
Yes.
then they can contact. I'll make you and Greg admins of it as well. I'm gonna pretty much make or moderators of it, so that way anytime someone comments something, you guys will see it right away, and that way you can respond to it as well. You become group experts in that
On that page.
yeah, on that page. So that way they'll have a direct connection to you, and this would be a great way to do so.
Okay, awesome.
So Devin's forum, he actually commented something that I want to definitely highlight. He said arm wrestling has helped motivate him. Devin Lorette, who's a world famous arm wrestler, is probably one of the best arm wrestlers that ever existed, in my opinion. That's just mine. But he oozes motivation and confidence. And I gotta say, arm wrestling has become very much a deciding force in my life. In arm wrestling, the slightest micro adjustment of your wrist, hand placement, changes the entire outcome of a match. Much like life, if you just change one perspective, one outlook, one moment in your day, you change the entire trajectory of your life. So there's a lot of parallels there, and I happen to appreciate analogies on a level that makes me the ultimate dad joke deliverer, if you may, but I love making those type of connections, and it helps me know that I'm on the right path. So thank you for highlighting that, Devin Forum. Wish I knew your real name. Let's see what else we got. We got 5 watching. All right, what do you guys have not hit that like button? Do me a favor, smash that like button on the chat. Let's see. So another thing I wanted to highlight was something that we're going to be doing with this networking thing is when we have a connection with somebody, it's not just connecting to people's desires and wants or needs and offerings. It's actually connecting to people on a level that they probably never would connect on. And in this day and age, that's rare because of all the division that's occurring, because of all the negativity that's occurring. We can thrive as just general humans helping each other out. And if we can change the corner, our own little corner of the world, then we can change everyone's corner of the world eventually. So get out there, share this out with people. Oh, Brian's his name. Thank you, Brian. Share this with everybody and connect with everybody. It's time for everyone to open up their eyes and recognize we're all on this organic rock hurtling through space together? Why not make it more enjoyable?
Yeah,
Why not make it
absolutely.
more beneficial? Why not say, hey, this works for me, this helped me. Why don't you take advantage of this? Because something like this can help you too. Let's see, who else we got? I know one thing, Greg, I know Adam Silver, who is Larry Wheel's manager in Dubai, is definitely eager to hear more about what you're bringing to that area of the world, because he and a lot of his following are huge on strength sports, conditioning sports. They're
Right.
powerlifters. The world's strongest men go to Dubai because it's a mecca for that type of thing.
Right. Well, what I'm bringing there, not only to this country but to the world, is my mobile, portable, high-powered crusher, cryotherapy medical device. It's basically going to be the most advanced medical device on the market today for delivering liquid CO2 onto the affected area to eradicate inflammation instantly. I mean, Dan, I don't have to tell you how powerful this modality is. It's actually quite impressive. It's quite impressive. So I have created a medical device to dispense the CO2, onto athletes. I mean, you don't have to be an athlete too. It could be anyone, could be post-op recovery, but that's the technology that I'm bringing there. And the name of the device is going to be called the AC-130 Viper. It'll have RAM Air 5 technology. I could explain that later another day, but it's going to be a very powerful tool to use in aiding in recovery, aiding in recovery, expediting people's injuries and getting people back onto their athletic sport much quicker. So
one thing that I actually wanted to also share with everybody is a different segment of Wellness Reimagined is going to be actually highlighting an arm wrestler who I view as quite the inspirational man. He recently suffered from a pretty rough break in the arm, and not from the worst positioning. A lot of times these arm breaks and injuries in arm wrestling that happen is due to poor positioning, not paying attention or something like that, or maybe even a pre-existing injury. And this gentleman, Roger Learned, very talented arm wrestler, very committed arm wrestler. He loves the concept of building a community and being a part of something bigger, and he travels all over with his wife, who takes amazing pictures of every arm wrestler that I've ever met, seen. I love her photography skills. They're second to none. However, he's going to be hopping on here on a somewhat regular basis to highlight his recovery process and what he's been taking advantage of. And he's actually in Scranton, I believe Scranton, PA. So I will be sending him down to Allentown to take advantage of that, because I think that he can benefit greatly during his recovery and healing process. And we can really help him out and highlight his getting back into the sport, because he's still competing right-handed. Even though he broke his left arm, he's still competing, and this guy is very committed to the sport. So if we can help him do better and feel better, why not?
Why not? Exactly.
All right, so we're about 40 minutes in. I think that if there's any other questions or concerns, please feel free to message me. I will be creating this Facebook group shortly. This evening it will come down the pipeline, and I will send everybody links. Please join it, ask your questions. We will be doing a monthly live segment with each people that I've interviewed. So I will be once again bringing these folks back, you know, because I do think that it's important to connect other like-minded wellness providers, whether it's services or products, um, that help maximize your body's unique potential, and helps you feel good while doing so. Because when push comes to shove, we all want to feel better about what we're doing. We all want to feel our best versions of ourselves, and you know, these guys help me do just that.
You only have one life.
We only
Make
got
it
one.
count. Make it count.
Make it count. Also,
Exactly.
I ask, please like, share, and subscribe to his channel to see more content on how you can feel the best version of yourself. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank everyone in the live chat. You guys are the rock stars here. Wellness warriors. We can go ahead and have a great night, okay?
Have a good night. Thank you again, Dan.
Not a problem. My pleasure.
Take care.